Hello everyone, welcome back to Indiana Kayak Fishing Journal. The footage I have for you guys today is from May the 14th. I got Kelly out to do some crappie fishing. The reservoirs, Roush Lake, Salamonie Reservoir, and then Mississinawa Reservoir, we're finally up to summer pool. So it's nice to see those reservoirs back at summer pool. It gives you a lot of options as far as where you can launch and then places to fish. So we decided to hit kind of a new area that I really haven't fished much before to see if we can get into some crappies. The weather was unusually warm. We got 88 degrees and sunny, where usually a lot of the highs in May are in the 70s. So a nice hot day. And we really didn't get an early start like we wanted to. We didn't really get on the water until about 10 o'clock, so it was already very hot by the time we got there. We did a lot of bouncing around. We didn't find any place where there was a bunch of fish, so we just had to continuously move. We would pull into a tree, catch a fish or two pretty quickly, and then it would go silent, so we'd end up moving on to the next one pretty quickly. Like I said, we ended up catching quite a few fish, about 25 over the course of the day, and took some home for dinner, which is always awesome to have fresh fish. Before I get into the video, I want to go through a quick gear review. I know I've done this in the past, but it's always good to show you guys what I'm using because people always ask. So basically, my crappie setup is I always like these St. Croix Triumph fishing rods. This one is a 6-foot medium light power fast action rod. I've got that paired with a 1000 series Shimano spinning reel. I've got that spinning reel spooled with 6-pound monofilament line. And that runs down to a bobber stop. This is a sliding bobber stop, so you can move your depth around pretty easily. I've got a bead underneath that, down to a small slip float, and then a bead underneath the slip float, just to keep the bobber from binding up with the snap swivel that I've got tied below that. So I tie the snap swivel in here so that I can quickly change leaders, so I can switch what jigs I'm using, what lures I'm using quickly and easily. And then I've got basically an 8-inch leader tied in here down to a small crappie jig. I tie these leaders myself out of 8-pound abrasion resistant monofilament. Then one more important thing to note when you're using a slip bobber is or a bobber of any kind really, is you want to make sure that you add enough weight underneath the bobber to stand the bobber up, and then also keep it basically just from sinking. So you want as little resistance as possible on that bobber to keep it from getting pulled down. So you want to add enough weight that a fish can pull it under the water easily and they don't really feel any resistance when they grab this rig. If they feel too much resistance, a lot of times they'll let go early and then you'll end up losing them. If the longer they hold on, the better chance you have of getting them hooked and then getting them landed. Before we dive into the video, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a few of the options that I use for crappie jigs so you get an idea of what kind of lures I'm using, and then we'll dive into the video after that. Okay, well here's a quick rundown on some of the lures that I like to use while I'm out crappie fishing. These reservoirs, the primary forage is gizzard shad, so a lot of these crappies are keying in on small gizzard shad as their primary forage. So you can't go wrong with anything that's about 2 inches long, basically in any color. But these are some of my favorites. The top one up here is a Southern Pro crappie tube. It's in silver color to look like a gizzard shad. When these come packaged up, a lot of times these tails are stuck together, so you want to make sure that you separate those out before you start using them to give them as much action as possible in the water. This next one down is another Southern Pro crappie lure, and this thing works really good. It just has basically the single tail. It looks really good in the water, and it also is meant to mimic a gizzard shad, so it looks really good. Now these bottom two are hand tied. I tied these lures up myself. This top one, sometimes black is a really good color, especially when the water's really dirty, because you can really see this lure in that dirty water. You can still see the profile even if it's really, really muddy. So like I said, this is basically just a woolly bugger tied onto a jig head. This next one down is a new one that I tied up for this year. It's basically just still a marabou jig, but it's also got some flash boo tied into it as well, to give it a ton of action, a ton of flash. Sometimes these are really good too with a lot of action and flash. All right, well now that you guys have seen the gear that I'm using and then specifically some of the lures that I'm using, let's get into some of the crappie video. I hope you guys enjoy this footage. Just see how it looks. I don't know what all this really looks like at summer pool. So we'll just see if there's still trees. We'll just keep fishing them for a little bit here and see what happens.
Well, if it sucks, we can always just quit and then go over to the campground and talk to Tom Lewis and fish.
Yep. Nice. Pulling in.
All of a sudden I see my bait lure going this way.
Boy, pretty.
I got one.
Nice little male. That's perfect. That's what we're gonna eat right there. That was a bite. Dang it. Gosh darn it. I was looking away to try to keep the boat from going. Got one? Pull him in, pull him in. Gosh. Nice little fish. That'll work. Good one. Yep, that's about that perfect size too. Like it does them like that. That's something big, whatever that was. It's a carp, I'm sure. I was like, yeah, that was big, whatever that was. I didn't even know I had a fish on there. Yeah, he didn't do anything with it. I'm just...
Yeah, like I said, they're just kind of...
Not really eating it very good, huh?
Going sideways with it. They're not really like...
It's another perfect size one, though. They're all males, and they're all right at that 9-10 inch mark.
You have 5 in there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 5 in there.
I've caught 2 others.
Yep, so we caught 7 total. Oh, there's one. Got him. Ouch. Spine me. Yeah, we'll take him. He's good enough. Number 6. Got one. Nice. We can let that one go. I said we don't really need him. He's a little smaller than the other ones we got. Ouch. Trying to get you unhooked. See, he bit that good. See ya. Yeah, if we showed up now, we'd be like, wow, we have the place to ourselves.
And then we wouldn't catch anything. What the heck?
Yeah, I guess we'll take him home. You look back and yours is gone?
Yeah, I was looking at your fish and...
Double up. Mine's a little bigger than yours.
Yep.
Oh, you want me to just unhook him for you? Let's throw yours back. We don't need to get greedy, right?
Nope. We probably have 15 of them.
Yeah, we do. We have a good amount now. Got one. Nice. That's a big fish. Nice. Ouch. You spined me good. Nice one. They're so pretty when they're black like that. Yep. He's a good one. We'll take him. All right, well, that's going to do it for the video today. A pretty good day of crappie fishing. Unfortunately, with it being so hot out, I had a lot of issues with my GoPro overheating. That black camera does not do well with 88 degrees and sunny. And then recently I figured out that I have a couple of bad batteries, so I've gotten rid of those batteries and gotten some new ones. So I think I have my camera issues solved. But I said, unfortunately, it means that there was only 8 or 10 fish that I got to show you guys out of about 25 fish that we actually ended up catching. We took 18 home, so we had a really nice bunch of fish to take home. I had a couple of meals out of those fish, so just awesome to get some fresh fish to eat. Always enjoy that. Thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you to everybody who likes, comments, subscribes, shares these videos. I really appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next one.